Doug, are you here? No, no. Donna?
Yes.
Oh, Doug, you
There's
here?
Doug.
Good. Casey
Yes.
can't make it. Kathy?
I'm here.
Well, great.
Oh, there's Donna.
And there's Donna. Hi, Donna. Okay.
Yep, I'm here.
Sue L?
She's not here yet.
Okay. Sue F?
Not here.
No. John was going to be at a meeting. Fiona's here. Ellen? Dan is here. Dave, are you here? I mean, Dan, are you here?
I am.
Good.
El-
Dave's
Ellen-
here.
Ellen is here.
Ellen's here. Great.
Saw her.
Okay. Amy is away. Kemp, are you on?
I saw Kemp.
Okay.
I am
Brian.
on. Yep.
Okay. Brian Scott? No. Okay. And Allison is on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Call to order the Board of Education at 5:03 PM. Roll call. Ellen, do you want to do it? Here? Okay, everyone on the board is here except for Sue DePretis, John Kisco, and Jess Richardson.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
You're up.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda and the addendum to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Pat. Who seconded?
Yeah, Armin.
Armand, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed?
Aye.
Next is the minutes, which you got on the second email. Could I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Fiona, second.
Second, Kathy.
Kathy? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay. Next one.
Ed, this
Oh.
is Armin. I abstained because I was not at the meeting.
Okay,
so-
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was not at the meeting. It's okay.
All right, same,
Thanks.
okay. Any public participation?
Nope.
Okay. Discussion and action on construction administrative services. On the second agenda, not agenda, second email I sent, it was a memo to everybody which stated, one, the building committee met on December 1st and decided to interview 3 companies. A subcommittee was set up consisting of Donna, Pat, Casey, Mario, and myself. The subcommittee met on Tuesday, December 6th to interview 3 companies. The evaluation criteria is as follows. The Torrington Building Committee will consider the following factors, among others, in evaluating responses: experience, references, capabilities, past performance, price, qualifications, accuracy, overall quality, thoroughness, and responsiveness to the committee's requirements as stated in the RFPQ. Please be advised that selection will be based on the most qualified firm in the best interest of the district and the city, not necessarily on the lowest price. The subcommittee unanimously recommends BL companies and recommends the building committee and the Board of Ed to execute an agreement. The building committee and the Board of Ed will send their recommendation to the mayor and city council for their approval. Any questions? The committee met. We interviewed the 3 companies. We also interviewed the person who's going to be on call, and BL company, the fellow John Jenny, was outstanding. He's a construction administrator. He's worked on a number of building projects. He was formerly construction administrator for Fletcher Thompson for a number of years, and now he works for BL company. You want to say something, Mario?
Nope, he was, actually BL had, proposed another gentleman on site, but, through the work of the subcommittee, John ended up being the man that we wanted and we got.
Do you need a motion to?
Yeah, we need 2 motions.
that for building committee?
One from the building committee, yes.
I'll make the motion for the building committee.
Okay, can I have a
I'll
second?
second it, Armin.
Armand, okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Could I have a motion for the Board of Ed?
So moved.
Fiona?
Second.
Have a second? Kathy? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Unanimous.
The next item is the Phase 1 and Phase 2 application. You all received that. Also on the front page of the application was the application 5, which lists that the total is 3,000,000, I'll just go 3,831,000. And I broke it down by each phase and who was the contractor. Remember, ONG gets the total amount and then they break it up like we have. So Fuji gets Phase 1, $55,167. Marguerite, which is the concrete guy, Phase 2, he gets $758,947. They're delivering concrete like crazy.
That must be phase 1, phase
Phase
2,
two,
I'm sorry, yes.
Phase 2, CJ Fuji, $636,605.
There you go.
Hey, Ed, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Turn to the right when you speak, just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
You're going away from the microphone. It's hard to hear.
Okay, I'm sorry. Gilberto and Sons, they're the waterproofing company at 105,771. And then ONG, the reason why it's 2,200,000, they are asking for their bonds and their insurance, which they get billed right away of 2,275,328. Dan, if you have any questions, Dan is on the line. No. Can I have a motion by the building committee to approve the 3,831,818 so I can drop it off?
So moved.
Listed.
So moved.
Robin
Second.
and Gary, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Next item. We have a number of change orders. The first one is PCO number 6, which is a credit of $69,596. Dan, you want to just talk about that for a second?
Certainly. So as you recall, when we created our Phase 2 GMP, it was an all-encompassing GMP. And that, I mean that it included the change orders that we had already approved for the Phase 1 work. The widening of Major Bessie Drive, the 2 others that are just eluding me, but so we had 3 different change orders, and those were identified as being set aside cost, so that when we executed the GMP, that we would move the money from an allowance set aside in the GMP to the so that it's really moving money from one line item in the account to another. There's no change in the cost of the project as a result of this change order. It's just due diligence in the paperwork.
Questions?
Mhm.
Could I have a motion to approve the deduction of $69,596 from the allowance?
So moved.
Fiona, can I have a second?
Second, Armin.
Armand. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The next is change order number 7, which is for $4,694. Dan, you want to just go over this one again?
Yes, I do. And I'll ask for everyone's patience for 1 second. I thought I had it open. I'm going to need to just refresh the PCO 7.
Dan, it's the site lighting allowance.
That's what I was going to say, because it is again a net zero change to the overall contract. When we issued the Phase 1 documents, we saw there was a potential for additional lighting that may be required as a result of the new parking lot. We know we put up new parking lot pole lights everywhere, but I just set aside $6,000 when I wrote that GMP. At the close of the, once we got to early September when school was opening up again, I met on the site with our electrical engineer from CES under SLAM. And we took a photometric, used a light level meter, walked around the parking lot, walked around the school, and identified 2 locations near the new parking lot that we thought an additional floodlight would work, should be added. You actually have code required light levels everywhere in the parking areas, but they're close to code minimum at the location where you cross from the main parking area towards the new front door. And as you approach the front door, if the building lights are off, then that sidewalk doesn't have a light on it. So in doing so, CES issued a memo, and we responded by getting quotes to put 2 additional floodlights on that face of the building, one over the door that goes in the main entry now, and one that shines at the crosswalk where you go from the parking lot. Another fixture was identified, and that's over where the small theater is. In that parking lot is just not very well lit, and it's going to be utilized more. So there's a 3rd floodlight that we're adding over there. The net cost, again, about $4,700, is taken from the $6,000 allowance. Our next PCO will actually close out that allowance and reduce your GMP contract amount by the delta of the $1,300.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Gary, sorry.
Gary.
Second? Armand. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
The next one was 2 of them that I sent out on the second one. The first, that's PCO 11, which is a credit of $94,155. That's really O&G giving back their contingency of $94,155. So can I have a motion to approve that contingency return?
So moved.
Hartman.
Can I have a second?
Second, Gary.
Gary? Any
Okay.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The next one, PCO 8. That's a 0. It's coming out of contingency. Dan, you just want to talk about that one quickly?
Yep, we are looking at our schedule, and what I didn't buy at the time of bid was an accelerated concrete that meets early strength requirements to allow us to backfill on one side of the wall. In looking at bringing in the next trades and getting back to a level site sooner, we want to expedite the backfill on what are the retaining walls of your Area B basement. So we went ahead and we worked with our team in quality control, O&G's concrete division, and then we presented a new mix design to SLAM structural team. They liked it, and so we're taking the burden of the cost here, the $7,900 that will allow us to buy an accelerated mix design that gets to design strengths in 7 days, and that's just to keep the pace of the backfill moving.
Thanks, Dan. Can I have a motion to approve PCO 8?
So moved.
So moved. Yeah, second.
And Gary? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
The next one is, you have it, it's the analysis of the progress payments. As you can see, the city has received $6,040,000. The next 2 pages just show you that I've put in progress payment number 5. The total amount would have been $1,517,000. We would get 85% of that. And then the other one is for the Central office. Those are small bills. It's 2,966. So that's just for your information. Next is just payment of invoices. I have the first one is Innovative Engineering. They're the commissioning agent. They're looking for $2,484. Have a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Pat, have a second?
Second.
I'm on. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The next one is Slam. They're at $45,347.50. Have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Robin, second.
Kathy,
Kathy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have two.
Hey, Ed, I'm sorry, a little more
Yeah.
to the right, please.
Yeah, no, then we have two bills from Tri-State Materials. They've been out constantly. After I check them, I have Zach from O&G to make sure everything is copacetic and everything is good. So we have two invoices, one for $1,054 and one for $550. Can I have a motion to approve both invoices?
So moved.
Pat, second.
Second, Armin.
Armand. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Okay, the last item. The last item is the, and Dan, you should speak to this. It's we finally, we opened up the second bids for general trades. There were 3 bidders.
Hey, with time.
Excuse me?
Okay.
There were 3 bidders. We're recommending the lowest qualified responsible bidder is OWI Contractors LLC.
Ed, we can't hear you when you're facing that way for some
I'm
reason.
sorry. I'm sorry. So we had 3 bidders. We interviewed 2 for scope review, OWI and the next lowest bidder, but OWI was the lowest bidder. Dan, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So yeah, as Ed indicated, we got 3 bids on the rebid. The bid results were a bit disappointing in that, when we bid the project the first time, we had 3 bids, 3 results at that time. One was our $6.9 million bid from THP, which we then, he attempted to first, he wanted to withdraw his bid, and then he tried to prove his error in his arithmetic. But ultimately, we, through council review, we said it's really appropriate that we rebid this package. So we had 3 bids the first time: 6.91 million, 8.84 million, and 11.8 million. So there was also a great spread in those 3 bids. So the rebid results we got last week, we got 3 bids again. The low bid being at 8.772 million. That's OWI. THP had raised their bid from their first attempt at looking at the job, and then looking at it the second time, they were at 8.79. So there was about a $27,000 delta between the 2 low contractors, and our high bidder from the first bid came down to 9.5 million. So what that represented to me was a much tighter, grouping of numbers, of proposal numbers, and a better understanding of scope. So in scoping both OWI and THP, both are above our budget, and that's the disappointing part. Is we really thought that we would be circling around a $7.7 million number. The reality of where that fell at 8.8, the project is worth that much. There was some discrepancies in the way that we had forecasted out. Like a large part of that cost of that scope of work is work that's at the end. The general trades contractor provides those finishes items like the gym equipment, the floor in the auditorium, the curtains in the auditorium, the lockers in the building. And so in our estimate, we hadn't put enough escalation in on those trade contractors so that our estimate was shorter than where those buy items were. But in the end, we did have a very clarified scope of work, a very itemized cost of what the trades were carrying. And we found that very little disparity between we actually had our numbers and we had their numbers, and we had 3 sets of costs for each item. And I'm really, I'm very confident in the scope of work. It's just an unfortunately high cost. So we overshot our estimate, but we have a good scope of work. OWI Contractors has performed well for us of late. They're on another project now that they were just awarded as well. They're a very reputable firm, and they presented well during the scope review. So we have no trouble recommending them. We just had to figure out how to manage the cost. And so some discussions with both THP and OWI flushed out an opportunity to where OWI came to the table with a $97,000 value they had carried in their bid that shouldn't have been in their bid. So that's $97,000 that they're willing to give back right after award. And then we also identified several scopes of work that through discussion with my team, we don't quite need. The example would be shoveling snow from the roof decks, because the project schedule is where it's at, and we're actually not anticipating too much snow to occur before we start pouring the elevated concrete slabs that make up the building. We're going to capture that dollars. So through that, we captured the 100 that they missed or that they carried that they didn't need to, plus about another 100 that we're going to pull back into the owner's contingency after award. So again, through that process, and then some other, there was one other large value engineering item that we presented to SLAM and got concurrence both with SLAM and with John Barlow, and that's in the type of roofing attachment. A very successful system that has some significant savings. And then we ponied up that we are now offering to reduce our CM contingency similar to what we did when we had the initial buyout, whereas we provided back to the owner's contingency $500,000 at that time, with the caveat that should things go wrong, that we have access to some of those funds. But we're doing that again after this award with an additional $350,000 to maintain the owner's contingency at an appropriate level. What it does for O&G's contingency is it brings us down to about 2.4%, which is not really a scary number to us. We carry 3% typically, and then we end up giving back, what we don't think we'll need at a point that's later in the project. So why it's not really scary is that we don't usually go over about 2%. That's pretty average for the CM side of buyout issues that we have. The only difference on this project is we're giving it back at the very beginning, as opposed to, when we would be usually starting finishes is when we'd be offering that back to the owner. The net result is, once again, the owner's contingency has to take a hit. It's a manageable hit for discussions with Ed and Mario, but it gets us to the point where we've got all of our project bid, all of our contracts ready to award, and we have a good contractor performing what is an $8.8 million scope of work.
We also have taken.
I have.
Let me just one question.
I have. Yeah, go ahead.
We also have taken, because of BL companies and working probably 125 weeks at their price, we can save over $250,000. As you remember, Construction Solutions, we've paid $371,000. We had over $600,000, about $554,000 left. We're only going to spend $250,000 of that. The rest comes off and saves us on that. Gary, you had a question?
Yeah, whenever somebody says roof, I get nervous. But what change did you make to any roof attachment? That
So the,
SLAM approved. What does that mean?
so SLAM in the base bid documents has a fully adhered TPO membrane. In other words, we're using an adhesive to glue the TPO surface to the substrate. What the system of mechanical attachment is called Rhinobond. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a heat welded system to where the mechanical fasteners that are used to secure the roof insulation and cover board to the structure, they're plates that are about 5 by 5. And so at approximate 4-foot intervals, the TPO membrane is heat welded to that in lieu of, using a glue product. It makes no change to your warranty on the building. And what we did is we had Amy as well as John get in contact with 2 previous projects that have used the Rhinobond attachment, and we're happy with the results.
Okay.
So with that, I also sent you what the building committee would have to enact, and I'll read it. I make a motion to make make motion
in the car.
motion to make a recommendation to the Board of Education, the City Council, to execute the approval to award letter per recommendation by O&G Industries to the lowest qualified responsible bidder for bid package 2.10 general trades to OWI Contractors LLC with a base bid amount of $8,772,200 and accept alternate number B20 in the amount of 0 to provide Coney elevators, accept alternate number B21 to deduct $80,300 to remove the food lab equipment tables items EF05, EF06, and EF08 from the scope of the work and reject alternate number B22 to remove the stage floor from the scope of work. Any questions on that? Have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Fiona, have a second?
Second, Armin.
Armand. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Okay. The
We get
next
the
one
same
is the Board of
motion.
Ed.
Ed, do we need to vote on that?
Yes. So now the Board of Ed's one. Motion to execute the approval to award letter for recommendation by O&G Industries and the Torrington Building Committee to the lowest qualified responsible bidder for bid package 2.10 general trades to OWI Contractors LLC with a base bid amount of $8,772,200 and accept the alternate number B20 in the amount of 0 to provide Coney elevators, accept alternate number B21 to deduct $80,300 to remove the food lab equipment tables items EF05, EF06, EF08 from the scope of the work and reject alternate B22 to remove the stage floor from the scope of the work. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Gary, second.
Second, Kathy.
Kathy. This is the Board of Ed. Any further discussion? All in favor on the Board of Ed?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, so I think that's all. Just let me make sure. We did the analysis, we did the payments. The second one, we did discussion of trade contract. Oh, okay. So comments for the good of the order. Anybody have a well, I'll have one. Everybody enjoy Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, and may your wishes come true and health and happiness for everybody.
Same.
You,
And
Ed,
have a
have a
safe
safe trip.
Yes, have fun in Japan.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but my daughter-in-law Maya will hold my hand through everything.
Ed, I'm jealous. Tokyo Marathon is on my bucket list, so I'm happy for you. Have a blast.
Yes. I appreciate everybody on the Zoom. David, you still owe us the cookies. Don't think you're gonna get away with that.
No, I will gladly have 1-month-old cookies for you at the next meeting. So,
Uh, Dan.
Dan, you got my email today about the Jeremy waiving the surveys for the bulk of the project?
Mario, you're all mumbled. We can't really hear you. You gotta get closer to Ed. Get closer.
Shut. That's
You have
alarming.
In your mouth?
Dan,
Yes,
you got the email today about the survey and the town requirements?
yes, we actually did, and we got revised pricing in already.
Good,
We're gonna do much better on that line.
good, 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 good.
Thank you.
At least they gave a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more than a little. You
Oh, and
reduced our
the,
scope by over half.
right, and could that get all done now in one visit, or is that still multiple visits?
It's still 3, and according to the quote that we got, but I think we can do that in 2. I believe that the area D and B foundation will be far enough along before we need to get a permit for the structural steel erection.
Mhm.
We'll use one mobilization to do D and B, and then a second mobilization for A.
Great.
Anybody else for the good of the order?
One other thing, Ed. So
Yeah.
Monday night, the city council is receiving a plan for the skate park, if anyone's interested.
Correct.
Yeah, Mario will be there Monday.
I'll probably go Monday. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, it's a good looking presentation by the company in Florida. They scored highest out of their committee, so there's really nothing to be afraid of. I think the one positive thing is if they do a lot of skate parks in Florida, they're used to dealing with parks that have a water table issue, which this one might. They did a park in Norwalk, so I hope someone called them. But there's no moving that thing for sure. So especially given the recent situation with Park and Rec.
Commissioners, and we're thankful for Mario that they're bringing in a brand new cement.
Yeah, that was a moral victory. I guess.
Yes, it was really good. So it's going to look different, much better.
Yeah.
And safer.
Like Santa Claus, it's coming.
Yeah. Anybody else? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 5:34?
You want to set up another meeting or no?
No, I won't. No.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
the next meeting will probably be once I get back, and we'll set up a meeting probably the 3rd week in January, but I'll let everybody know before that. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Pat, second?
Second, Armin.
Armand?
Hey, Pat, my
Yes,
condolences to Carol, okay?
I'll pass it along. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The Board of Ed, could we have a motion to adjourn to?
So moved.
So moved.
Kathy, second?
Second.
Okay. Gary, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.